Welcome to Biden's America. I mean, one more reason to just despise this administration. He's trying to knock out attractive white women. Like, what the fuck is wrong with this dude? Nah, just kidding. Maybe it's got something to do with the not, really shoring up the southern border crisis and the fact that illegal drugs are just spilling over the top of that. No, it doesn't have anything to do with that. Maybe it's about going to McDonald's and how dangerous that can be. I don't really know about that. Or maybe it's just, hey, a warning about drugs in general. Or maybe this is just a freak accident. I picked up $1 on the ground and nearly died. What a ridiculous story, you'd think, and taking a look at her in a couple of different ways, she doesn't look like she'd be somebody who would be too terribly unaccustomed to picking up dollar bills on the ground, if you know what I mean. A Kentucky woman has been hospitalized after picking up $1 that she later theorized was laced with drugs in a harrowing ordeal she detailed in a Monday Facebook post. My body went completely numb. I could barely talk, and I could barely breathe, Renee Parsons wrote an alleged accidental overdose. See, it kind of makes sense, right? Because she picked up $1 bill, and it was theoretically laced with fentanyl. What do you do with $1 bill? Obviously, okay, that would lead it to be laced with fentanyl. Okay, roll it up, and you do the old hack. Snort over top of it, unless, of course, you weren't paying attention to what Johnny Depp was allegedly, been taught by Whitney Heard, right? You got to use that tampon applicator. Come on, you got to get it. You got to update your drug doing techniques there, okay? Or just, leave $1 that's on the ground, because Christ almighty, in today's day and age, what the fuck can you buy with $1 anymore? But regardless, okay? The scary incident occurred when she was traveling to a conference in Dallas, Texas with her husband, Justin. See, it does have something to do with the border crisis. Justin and 2 kids. Family had stopped at McDonald's in Bellevue, Tennessee. Bellevue, Tennessee, she's going to wait, what? Okay, when Renee spotted some stray cash on the ground and decided to collect it. Alright, what a cheapskate. What happened to the old, practice of take a penny, leave a penny, for God's sakes? See $1, leave $1. Anyways, gonna need that for your medical bills, I suppose. See $1 on the ground, thinking absolutely nothing of it, and I pick it up. Yeah, no, exactly. I won't bend over for anything less than $1. If I see a quarter, I'll fucking kick it down the street. Anyways, within minutes, her body went numb and she could barely move or breathe. News 2 reported. Well, it was the Facebook post that reported that she could barely move or breathe. But anyways, it was almost like a burning sensation, if you will. That starts here at your shoulders and then it goes down because it's almost like numbing your entire body. Well, it starts at your okay, if you pick it up and then it disseminates through the pores in your skin, okay, so if it starts at your shoulders, if it starts to manifest there, I guess, but yeah, man, you should have been noticing something else prior to that. What an odd story. Her aghast husband painted the horrific scene. She hadn't said anything for a while, and then she said, "Justin, I'm sorry, I love you." And then she quit talking. Alright, that seems like it's just ripped straight out of a hack Hollywood line. And then she woke up and she had superpowers, and then she actually became Miss Marvel. How wonderful. Justin told News 2 she looked like she was dying. She certainly was unconscious and very pale, as opposed to her other, Facebook pictures in a red dress. Very nice. Renee wasn't the only one experiencing troubling symptoms. Before she passed out, she reportedly grabbed her hubby's arm with the same hand she had touched the money, whereupon her lips went numb and his arm sprouted a rash. Okay, was this fentanyl or was this anthrax, for Christ's sakes? Because this shit is fucking potent. God damn, I'm glad she pulled through. And that dude, like, my guy must have some serious fucking game. Or totally fucking loaded, because again, just do the old body posture analysis, but that's all good. Fearing for the worst, Justin drove his ailing wife at 15 miles an hour to St. Thomas Ascension Hospital, reported by News Channel 5, sorry. Fortunately, Renee's symptoms finally abated after 4 hours, so she was just on a really extended trip, I guess. Whereupon the facility discharged her on an accidental drug overdose. Justin, who reportedly works in law enforcement for many years, said he believes the $1 Parsons picked up was laced with fentanyl, which caused her to suffer an adverse reaction. Yeah, I would imagine those are probably fairly similar symptoms, and when we get to the end of this, maybe I'll take a look at the... yeah, we will. We'll take a look at the list of symptoms of a fentanyl overdose so you can prevent yourself from having having this happen to you. That and just leave $1 on the ground because, again, what the fuck is this going to buy? Especially with record-breaking inflation expected to be announced tomorrow. Anyways, however, experts have since expressed serious reservations of the Parson family overdose theory. According to Metro Nashville police officer, we have no fentanyl problem here in Tennessee, y'all. Don't worry about it. Just feel free to come on through and spend all your cash. It's called to the ER. Parson decidedly wasn't exposed to fentanyl, as she didn't require Narcan to be revived while preliminary tests didn't reveal any drugs in her system. Okay, then what do you mark it down to? A department spokesperson added that they didn't find any drug residue on the bill and plan to dispose of it. Okay, well, that would be a little bit more reasonable. Okay, if you didn't find any residue on there, that'd be different. But did you find any, mucus or anything from like a nose or anything being stuck up there? Just saying, okay? Meanwhile, Dr. Rebecca Donald, good last name, a fentanyl expert at Vanderbilt University Medical Center, told Fox News 4 that Renee's symptoms didn't indicate fentanyl poisoning. Even if the tender was tainted with said narcotic, it would require more than skin-to-skin contact to cause an overdose, per the doctor. It is much more likely to have a reaction if she had inadvertently rubbed her nose and exposed that drug to some of her blood vessels in her nose and licked her fingers or rubbed her eyes. That, again, is also pretty possible, right? She picks up the drug or something like that, and then she goes up to the counter and then goes, okay, let's get a number 6, a number 4 large, number 5, 2 number 10s, something like that, right? Okay, or she's taking off her sunglasses when she goes to order. Hi, my kids, something like that, right? Then again, it all seems very believable, but they aren't giving us the goods. That's why we're going to take a look at what she looks fucking stoned out of her gourd in that picture, okay? But we'll take a look. We'll see if we can be a little bit smarter than the experts. Nonetheless, Renee is sticking to her scientifically shaky theory. Again, you asked 2 people, okay? What I do know is how I felt. What happened? It can't be made up. And again, you were also discharged and diagnosed with an accidental overdose, so one would think that there's got to be some validity to that, okay? As cautionary tale as it could have been a child who picked up the dollar bill. Yeah, exactly. And who would have known how well their system would have taken care of it, or if she has experience with some sort of nose candy that maybe made her a little bit better off than anybody else. Anyways, I'm just saying, man, because you take a look at the couple side by side, one looks in better shape than the other, and you know what? Hey, God bless him. And again, not hating on this dude. He just he's got some shit going for him. Let's just say. The moral, I don't care if it's $20 or $100, do not touch it, she warned on Facebook. You know what, hey, I'm still taking my chances if I find a $100 bill on the ground. Let's just fucking go with that, okay? You just were a little numb for 4 hours, okay? And you were taken care of after that. And then at the end of the day, you're gonna have $100, okay? But they're getting rid of the $1 bill. Last month, the Perry County Sheriff's Office issued a warning, which has since gained national attention after fentanyl-laced money was discovered at 2 different gas stations. By the way, just doing a little bit of sleuthing here, because I don't know where Perry County is. It's in Kentucky, right? And this happened in Tennessee. One would think, given some basic geography, would it be terribly out of line for it to pass through there as well? Just saying. That happened at 2 different gas stations, fast food restaurant. Come on. There are approximately 250 deaths each day due to fentanyl crisis in America, according to what the organization Families Against Fentanyl. I don't know if anybody's necessarily for fentanyl, because all I'm hearing about is just overdoses of fentanyl. Like, I don't know what the appeal of it is. Like, I know it's a cheap alternative to some uppers that are out there, but unless you like micro dose it, it has a tendency to kill some folks. But I'm such a square when it comes to drugs, right? We're going to have to get up to date on all this stuff here in a moment. Has discerned by reviewing the facts of the Center for Disease Control and Prevention about the killer that a narcotic is currently the #1 killer of Americans between the ages of 18 and 45. Yeah, and you know what the number 2 is? Having information that would lead to the arrest of Hillary Clinton. So, okay, I got the DEA pulled up, their website, so at least they're probably going to know something about this. You'd at least hope so, for Christ's sake. So, like, I'm totally stupid when it comes to this stuff, and I don't want to be stupid when it comes to this stuff because it's awfully prevalent. So let's try to fill in some gaps, shall we? Because the New York Post, they were concerned about one specific gap, but you know what? Hey, not the information kind. Fentanyl is a synthetic opioid that is 50 to 100 times stronger than morphine. Oh, so it's a downer. See, so even I got that wrong. Okay, pharmaceutical fentanyl was developed for pain management and treatment of cancer patients. Okay, so, okay, applied in a patch on the skin. Because it is a powerful opioid properties, or because of those properties, fentanyl is also diverted. Oh, yes, for abuse. Yeah, obviously. Fentanyl is added to heroin to increase its potency, or to be distinguished as a highly potent heroin. Many users believe that they are purchasing heroin and actually don't know that they are purchasing fentanyl. Oh, okay, so that would be for the pictures that they have here, because there you have just raw, uncut heroin right there, I guess, okay, in powder form. Again, just a brown substance. I know about heroin. Lord have mercy if I've ever come in contact with the shit. And then down there you see probably like the worst picture you could pick for fucking fentanyl. Because what, does it look like a shopping bag? And it's like, it doesn't look too terribly different, at least from back here. Because that could either be heroin, fentanyl, or fucking flour for all I know. But clandestinely produced fentanyl is primarily manufactured in Mexico. Gee, and what's going on right now with the southern border? I'd be referring to it as if there was a southern border at this point. Anyway, so street name. In case you're looking for some, or you hear somebody offering some. Okay, you got Apache, China Girl, Chinatown, China White. Isn't that what they used to call cocaine? Like, China White? Whatever. Dance Fever, Goodfellas, Great Bear, He-Man. Oh my god. It's definitely not the Kevin Smith reboot of He-Man. Does it make you cry a lot? Poison and Tango and Cash. What does that have to do with Sylvester Stallone and Kurt Douglas? Not Kurt Douglas, Kurt Russell. Fuck. Anyways, how is it used? Intense, short-term high, temporary feelings of euphoria. Somebody should get a copy of it. Like, don't you think the DEA has enough funding to fucking, properly format this shit? Slowed respiration and reduced blood pressure, nausea, fainting, seizures, and death. How does it affect the body? Similar to other opioid analgesics, fentanyl produces such effects as relaxation, euphoria, pain relief, sedation, confusion, drowsiness, dizziness, nausea, and vomiting. Urinary retention. Okay, so you can't piss. Interesting. Weird. Is it just all kind of just well up inside of you until the high wears off and then it's just a big old evacuation? I don't know. Pupillary constriction and respiratory depression. Now, okay, compare and contrast that with the way that the woman, I forget her name here, Renee felt after the fact. Like, even just taking a look at that picture of her inside the hospital room, she looks awfully depressed, right? Well, she looks like she's definitely experiencing something, to say the least, but she also isn't hooked up to oxygen, so there is that as well, but we also can't really tell anything else. She's obviously inside a hospital, but, like blood pressure cuffs on her, yeah, man, I can't really tell anything from that, and burning sensation starts at the shoulders, lost consciousness, numbing of your entire body. Some of those things, it's kind of hit and miss, okay? So could it have been something laced with fentanyl? Because it sounds like you got some of those symptoms, and then on top of that, you got something else, because I don't know where the burning comes in on this one. Maybe it was laced with fentanyl. I don't fucking really know. But again, let's take a look at some of the fentanyl overdose statistics. And if you're experiencing an overdose, you can call 888-966-8152, apparently. Or just 911. I think that's a little easier to figure out. Anyways, so symptoms of a fentanyl overdose. A person that is overdosing on fentanyl may exhibit the following signs and symptoms. According to Michael Kozlowski, okay, he's a PhD, freelance science writer of over 15 years. Well, I hope he's a better doctor than he is dresser, because, oh, buddy. Low blood pressure, drowsiness, dizziness, nausea and vomiting, limp body. Okay, that makes sense. Low blood pressure, that would obviously lead to fainting as well. Okay, changes in pupillary size, cold and clammy skin. Okay, blue-colored lips. Look at her lips and fingernails. Cyanosis. Okay, slowed or stopped breathing. Okay, that seems to make sense. Decreased heart rate, reduced or loss of consciousness. There you go, right there. And coma. Okay, so one of the most commonly described characteristics of a fentanyl overdose was the rapid speed of onset, within 75% of the respondents describing symptoms of an overdose occurring within seconds to minutes. One respondent stated, I would say you notice it, a fentanyl overdose, as soon as they're done injecting the fentanyl. What about touching it, though? They don't have enough time to pull the needle out of their arm, and they're on the ground. Okay, so this was like pretty delayed setting, right? She picked it up, okay. Within minutes, her body went numb. Okay, so, yeah, that would be a little bit different because, yeah, if you're injecting as opposed to just touching it or snorting it or anything like that, you're going to have a little bit of a delayed reaction. So, yeah, it doesn't make me disbelieve the story at this point, and I don't think that she's really making any of this stuff up. She probably believes this happened to her. It just, does everything line up? Okay. So the most common responses described during a fentanyl overdose: gurgling sounds with breathing, can't breathe and calling for your mama. Anyways, a person's lips immediately turning blue, stiffening of the body, and a seizure-like activity, foaming at the mouth. No, I thought that came from a knee on the back. Confusion or strange behavior before the person becomes unresponsive, like leaning over and saying, Justin, I'm sorry, I love you, and then she quit talking. Interesting. I don't know, man. I think it's probably some parts fentanyl and some parts something else. Maybe coke, maybe heroin. Who fucking really knows? But I think that this girl she probably got dosed inadvertently in some form or fashion. Okay. Thank God she lived to tell the tale. But hey, now we know more about fentanyl. I feel a little bit better about myself. And hey, so the next time you see some monetary currency on the ground, I don't know, maybe put on a glove or something to just dust that baby off before you stick it in your wallet or something like that. Otherwise, I don't know, you'll end up holed up in a Tennessee hotel room looking like that. But on a scale of healthy to George Floyd, where would you put her on that one? I'll leave that for you guys to decide. But with all of that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.